If you're considering the Ecovacs T30s, you might want to check out this to save some money. My name is Jamie Andrews and this is the Yeedi M12 Pro Plus. It retails for $100 less than the Ecovacs T30s and offers nearly the same hardware specs. Since I haven't reviewed the T30s yet, I'll dive into the specs of the M12 Pro, share my pros and cons, and wrap up with my conclusion. Up front, the Yeedi M12 Pro features the TrueDetect 3D object avoidance system, which uses structured light sensors instead of a camera. Up top, there are 3 buttons: Spot Clean, Power, and Home. Under the lid, you'll find a 300 milliliter internal dustbin with a pre-screen to protect the paper filter, and an included sponge filter, which I always manage to lose. Around back, there is a single dirt extraction port, a set of charging contacts, and a water fill port for the small 55 milliliter onboard water tank. The M12 Pro has a swing-out mopping plate for edge cleaning around furniture and walls. The mop pads are of standard quality, and the plate features a low-impact cushion bumper around the edge. Water is dispensed onto the mopping pads from these 2 holes. The brush roller has a unique design with a mix of both soft and stiff rows of brushes. Inside the robot, a set of teeth is designed to rake the hair off the brush roller. At the front, there are 4 cliff sensors, a single side spinning brush, and a dedicated carpet detection sensor. The dock features hot water mop washing and hot air drying of the pads, but it doesn't have detergent injection. Looking inside the dock, you'll see a corresponding set of charging contacts and a water fill port for the robot. Below that is the water drain tube for the wastewater. To the right, there is a single dirt extraction hole leading to a large 3.4 liter dust bag installed just above. The dock tray is a 2-piece removable design with a top tray used for scrubbing the pads. By clicking the 2 red side buttons, you can slide the bottom tray out for ease of cleaning. On top, there's an elongated water tank with a 4-liter capacity. The rear tank, which is for wastewater, is slightly smaller at 3.5 liters. This design allows you to lift both tanks together with just one hand. Connecting the robot to my Wi-Fi was easy, but mapping did not go as smoothly. When creating my first home map, the walls were not properly aligned, so I had to redo the mapping process. Another issue, which seemed to be carried over from Ecovacs, is the difficulty in splitting or dividing rooms. As you can see here, I repeatedly tried to divide my kitchen and dining room, but it failed each time. Other than that, the app is well laid out and has basic functionality without a bunch of gimmicks. Okay, let's test out the M12 Pro and see how it performs in my home, starting with the vacuum test. First up is my carpet pickup test. With a bristle brush roller and a powerful 11,000 Pascal vacuum motor, I had high expectations for its ability to pick up the colored rice. It managed to pick up 53 out of 54 grams of rice, or 98%, which is a great score. Moving on to tile floor, things got a bit more interesting. I scattered 130 grams of cat litter and sent the M12 Pro out with the vacuum motor set to the highest level. The floor results appeared to be good until I measured only 95 grams of cat litter in the dustbin. At just 73%, this is one of the worst scores that I have measured. However, the robot technically picked up much more, so let me explain. When removing the dustbin, I noticed the opening was overflowing with litter, and a bunch of the litter was left in the brush roller housing, 23 grams to be exact. So the robot actually picked up 118 grams, or 90%, even if it didn't all make it into the dustbin. Yeedi allows you to turn on extra auto empty in the app, and if you set the mop washing cycle to as little as every 10 minutes, it will also empty the dustbin each time. If you have lots of carpet, just know that it won't obey this setting in vacuum only mode. Now for the object avoidance test, the M12 Pro didn't perform well in this test, getting too close to the shoe and the sock, and then completely failing to avoid the fake animal waste and the USB cord. These tests are more challenging on carpets So when they don't do well here, I also perform a few tests on hard floor surfaces. On tile, the M12 Pro was able to properly detect and avoid the fake animal waste with each pass. When tested with the same red USB cord on tile, the results were quite different, as it could clearly detect and avoid it. One thing that I noticed with the M12 Pro was how loud it was, even in its quietest vacuum mode. In the standard vacuum mode, I measured 60 decibels of sound. Turning it up to max mode drives the sound level up to 70 decibels, all from just a few feet away. Moving on to the mopping test, which I performed on tile floor using 4 milliliters of baked on hot sauce. Now is a good time to mention a weird quirk of the M12 Pro. If you enable edge mopping, it will always leave the mop pad extended, even in the middle of the floor. I ran this test with edge mopping both on and off and found no noticeable difference in its cleaning ability. In its best run, it was able to clear 90% of the hot sauce, which is an average score for all robots tested to date. The M12 Pro can lift its mop pads 9mm to clear carpets and rugs, and I found my rug to be completely dry after it passed over it. On hard floor surfaces, I found the water output on medium to be fine. However, turning it up to extreme did not significantly increase the water output, likely due to the limited size of the small 55 milliliter internal water tank. I did a mop test on medium water setting, and the robot was able to last 25 minutes with good water output and no noticeable loss of flow. Now for the dock test, where I first assessed the dock's ability to clean the mopping pads. I never used cleaning solution in any of my tests, and after just one deep wash cycle in the dock, the results were just average. After a second deep washing, things did look a little bit better. The dock uses hot water to wash the mop. While the claim is 158 degrees, my testing showed a peak temperature of 136 degrees Fahrenheit. Next up is the hot air drying test. After just 2 hours, I found the mop pads to be completely dry, but there was still a good bit of water left in the lower dock tray. It took the full 4 hours for the dock tray to completely dry in my testing. The power draw while producing hot water is 11.5 amps and 1340 watts of power, and while the mop pads are drying, it pulls 78 watts and 0.6 amps of power. Testing the auto-empty function of the dock with a completely full dustbin worked well, as it was able to empty the contents each time. When it empties, the vacuum motor ramps up and down for 2 short bursts, maxing out at 72 decibels of sound. Well, that concludes the testing part of my review. Now I'll share some things I liked about the Yeedi M12 Pro after using it to clean my house for the past few months. The hair removal system for the brush roller worked really well, preventing hair from wrapping around the roller and the axles. An impressive feat in my house with 3 cats and 2 long-haired girls. I was also impressed with the side mop's ability to avoid riding up on my floor moldings and its gentle approach to furniture. The overall performance on carpet was above average, likely due to the powerful vacuum motor combined with a well-designed brush roller. Being able to set the auto-empty frequency to coincide with every mop washing is an advantage over other robots and helps compensate for the small dustbin size. The dock not only produces hot water, but it appears to do so exclusively when washing, whereas competitors use cycles of both cold and hot water. Finally, I'm glad you can completely remove the dock tray, leaving nothing to clean inside the dock. Moving on to my list of cons, I'll start with the biggest one, which isn't related to the robot or the dock. It's the app. Yeedi inherits many of the same bugs and issues found in the Ecovacs app. The 1.9 average score in the Google Play Store summarizes things quite well. Besides having mapping and room dividing issues, I also found several examples of Chinese language throughout the app. The robot has presented a few bugs. When it goes to clean my foyer, it bounces around in a circle for a few minutes before starting to clean, and it does this every time it cleans the foyer. Several times I received an error right when it was leaving the dock saying it was unable to reach the target with nothing blocking its path. and another time the robot locked up halfway through a mopping test, requiring a full restart. Lastly, the internal dustbin is just too small for people with pets that have long hair, especially if many carpets are involved. To wrap things up with my conclusion, this robot is best suited for homes with all or mostly hard floor surfaces due to its small dustbin size, which can be mitigated with frequent auto-emptyings during mopping jobs, and its object avoidance system that works much better on hard floor surfaces. The issues with the app are concerning and pretty frustrating. I hope Yeedi can devote some time to fixing it very soon. The Yeedi M12 Pro is, in my opinion, a better value than the Ecovacs T30s. At the time of this review, you can purchase the M12 Pro for nearly $200 less than the T30s, which makes it a no-brainer for me. Links to purchase are in the description, and I want to thank each of you for watching this video. If you're new here, my goal is to provide the very best robot vacuum analysis for you, my viewers. If this video helped you, please consider subscribing to my channel and sharing this content with others. Thanks, and be sure to take it easy out there, folks. Bye-bye.